Hello and happy Monday. How's it going? I th- I think I'm actually going to change the time of this live on Mondays to 2:15 p.m. Eastern because I have a meeting prior to this and it always tends to go long. All right. So welcome. Happy Monday. I am Julie with Balance Life with Julie. I'm a regenerative health practitioner and a holistic nutritionist. And on this channel, we talk all things health and wellness and how to get your body functioning at its optimal. So, yeah, I want to talk about parasite cleansing today. I am on day 13 of a 60-day parasite cleanse. I'm going to be working with two different sets of herbs. One set of herbs for the first 30 days, and then a different set for the final 30 days. But I know that a lot of people want to know, what is parasite cleansing? Do you need to do it? Is it like, you know, uh, all right. I was trying to think of other things that people say about parasite cleansing. So, parasite cleansing is an absolute must for everyone because as human beings, we all get exposed to parasites, especially those of us that have animals. I have 3 dogs. I love them, but they get into things. And when they're out in the environment, um, they pick up stuff and that gets passed on to you, no matter how much you might be trying to stay clean. So anyway, yeah, so all of us get exposed to parasites, and parasites do get passed between people, especially people within a household. And that's why one of the things I always suggest when someone is wanting to do parasite cleansing, that ideally it would be good for their entire family to embark on the journey. But before you can start parasite cleansing, it is an absolute must that you prepare your body. That's the first step. Before you can start parasite cleansing, you must make sure of a few things. First thing is always making sure that your elimination pathways are open. A lot of people don't go to the bathroom on a regular basis. And so if that's what's happening, your body is not ready to start parasite cleansing. The other thing is changing your diet is really, really important. If you're continuing to consume the foods that feed the parasites, it doesn't actually make any sense to do parasite cleansing. You have to be willing to change your diet. And that means ideally to a high alkaline, high raw diet, if not 100% raw. And by that, I mean 100% plant-based. And the reason is that, dairy, meat, sugar, processed foods, baked goods, breads, those kinds of things really feed parasites. And so if you're wanting to address the parasites, you absolutely need to first off change your diet. Okay. So change your diet into a more alkaline diet. And I usually, when I'm working with clients, we take a full month to transition their diet to an alkaline plant-based diet. And that way we're doing the proper prep. And then we start to do some gentle parasite cleansing. I usually like to bring in micronutrient dense superfoods as a part of their protocol in month 1, because what it does is actually it nourishes the body on a deeper level, on a cellular level. And with that proper nutrient support, then it's easier for the body to start to detox. Most people are eating food, but they're eating food that is so devoid of nutrients and that it's really hard for their body to start to detox because they feel depleted. And so it's really, really important that before we start to detox, we nourish. Right. I have a t-shirt in my closet that says nourish plus detox equals rejuvenation. So we have to nourish first always. Then we start to do detox, and then then the body can regenerate itself. The other thing is that when you're nourishing, the protocol that I work with, we're also working on gut health at the same time. And what that allows you to do is that you're actually allowing the gut to repair itself, and that way, what you are putting into your body is being absorbed on a cellular level. So that's always step one: nourish. Start working on gut health. And then step two is making sure the elimination pathways are open. So you have to be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day on a regular basis before you can start parasite cleansing. Otherwise, once you start taking anti-parasitic herbs and you are not going to the bathroom, that backup is going to get worse. And I'm not even joking. It could actually land you in the ER. And I don't want that. In my 8 years of doing this work, I've never had that happen with any client ever, because we make sure that we do that prep work ahead of time in terms of making sure that we're changing the diet and opening up elimination pathways and preparing the body properly. And then, so I usually like to do a gentle parasite cleanse the first round. There is some heavy metal detoxing that is happening from the micronutrient dense foods we're using, plus also the gut support that we're using. So because of the micronutrient dense foods we're using and the gut support, the body is already starting to get rid of heavy metals. And I usually like to go in stages. So once we've done that gentle parasite cleanse the first round, then I usually like to do deeper heavy metal cleansing. And then we'll do a second round and kind of assess and see where the body's at. And it also depends on what's going on for someone. So somebody who has an autoimmune condition, or the C word, they are dealing with a deeply, deeply parasitic issue. That means that there's a lot of parasites in their system, and it is going to take some time for those parasites to clear out. And it's going to take multiple different rounds of parasite cleansing. Parasites are super smart. They can hook into your nervous system. They can affect your emotions. They can affect your cravings. They can affect how your organs function or don't function. So oftentimes when somebody is dealing with a particular type of autoimmune condition, that actually is a clue as to where the parasites are within that person's body. And so usually what I recommend is at least 2 to 3 different types of parasite cleansing over the period of several months. And ongoing, once you've done that deeper work of parasite cleansing, ongoing, it's always good to parasite cleanse at least twice a year. And mix it up with different types of herbs. As a practitioner, I work with liquid tinctures that are antiparasitics. I also work with different herbs, dried herbs that are also antiparasitic. And it just really, really depends on the individual and what's going on with their body in terms of what type of support. For the first parasite cleanse, I always go with the most gentle formula that I have available. The other thing I want to note is that if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, it is not wise to parasite cleanse. I do have one thing that I work with that pregnant and breastfeeding women can use. But all of the general sort of anti-parasitic things that are out on the market, I don't recommend at all. It can end up affecting your baby, and you don't really want that. So yeah, I have worked with moms who are breastfeeding or who are pregnant, and there is something that I utilize in my practice that is completely safe for pregnant and breastfeeding women. So yeah, that's broad strokes, of parasite cleansing. It's something that I think absolutely everyone ought to be doing. Just think of it this way: you would never not get an oil change for your car. Anyone who owns a car knows that cars require regular oil changes, and you have to rotate the tires, and you have to do certain things. And yet, as human beings, we neglect this really, really vital and important part of our overall health. The other thing, the couple of little things that I want to mention in terms of parasites is that the reason that parasites come into the body is when you have a lot of acidic foods within your diet, and they're creating a lot of stagnation within your body, and they're very difficult for your body to break down. So that would be things like breads, pastas, meat, dairy, processed foods. Those foods are so hard for your body to break down that the parasites actually are there to try to help break that stuff down, because it's not of the body, and the body is having such a hard time with it. And then what happens is they just tend to hang out. They're like, well, I guess I'm just going to hang out here because this is such a great environment. There's so much toxicity here, and this person keeps feeding me, and they stay. Like I'm telling you, like last year I did some deep parasite cleansing, and I was releasing like 20-inch worms. And I'm somebody who's had a really clean diet for a long time. But one of the things that I came to realize as I've done this work is I'm like, I just stopped eating the stuff that was really toxic, but I never actually addressed the parasites that were within my system. Yes, I reversed hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's holistically, and I did some gentle parasite cleansing, but I never did the deep work. And so last year I rolled up my sleeves and I ended up doing like 111 days on superfoods and juices, and ended up doing like 2 or 3 parasite protocols in that 111 days. And it was shocking what came out of my body. And I can also tell you that on those days where I was releasing those 20-inch worms, my mood was really impacted. My thinking was really impacted. That's why I'm saying that they will infiltrate your thoughts. They will infiltrate everything. That's kind of what they do, because they want to survive. And a few months ago I actually posted a reel on my Instagram where it was a doctor that was talking about how they had done autopsies on all these MS patients, and they found so many parasites within their system. So that's why I'm saying that anybody who has an autoimmune condition or is affected by the C word, then you are definitely dealing with a parasitic infiltration within your body that needs to be addressed. And here's the other thing. Parasites are so smart that every time you think about doing a parasite cleanse, they will actually talk you out of it. Yeah, they'll tell you that it's silly, it's not necessary. That's how you know that they're impacting your thoughts. Because if you have never done a parasite cleanse, and especially if you're an adult and you've had animal products over the course of your life, and you've had a really stagnant diet and maybe not been, the most conscious of your diet, then of course they're in your system, but they've taken over so much so that they're not going to leave very easily. So that's what I want to say about parasites. I can say a lot more. I actually have loads of pictures of what they look like when they come out. It's not pretty. But what I always say when it comes to parasites is better out than in. And I've personally had a really big shift in terms of my mental health and just how I feel overall in my body. Like just so much better since I got rid of them. So if you're watching this video, think of it as a sign that you need to start parasite cleansing. And if you're looking for proper guidance and support, definitely check in to look at my group membership, Elevate. The way that membership is laid out is over the course of several months, you get guided through several different types of parasite protocols, and each is different from the one before. So that means that whatever parasites are in your system, they can't get used to it, and you're going to shock them. We're using the shock and awe method. And I walk you through all the different protocols. There's live weekly calls. There's a community group. You get recipes. There's like movement videos and mindset videos. So it's a really amazing opportunity to learn all this information that I have and start to apply it to get your health in the best scenario possible, right? Get into the best health of your life. So on that note, I want to shift gears ever so slightly in all of these Monday live videos, I'd also really love to talk about mindset and consciousness, because this is something that is a big part of my life. And inevitably in my work as a practitioner, it definitely comes up with my clients when we're working together, because, you know, everything comes from the mind. You know, as you think, so you become is something that the Buddha always said. And oftentimes, like when I'm working with clients and we're doing all the proper protocols but maybe not seeing the shifts that we need to be seeing in someone's health, I always go to, like, what is their mindset? What are, I always ask, like, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about your body? What are you thinking about on a day-to-day basis? What are you thinking about whatever condition you're dealing with? And a lot of people, especially those who are dealing with chronic illness, autoimmune, and especially cancer. I don't know why I said the C word earlier when I knew I was going to end up saying cancer. Um, there are huge, two of the things. Well, one thing that I think is really, really important to address is trauma within those conditions. I think there is a huge trauma component to those conditions, autoimmune and both autoimmune and with cancer. And the other thing that I think is really, really important is addressing mindset and forgiveness, and looking at what has happened in over the course of our life to bring us to whatever condition it is that we're currently dealing with that we don't like, and really finding a way to make amends and make peace. Now, I will just share this from my own personal perspective as somebody who has had a very traumatic childhood and has had all kinds of negative things happen in my life. It's interesting because I'm getting ready to write a book. And so I'm even giving more thought to, like, what were the events and the conditions that happened over the course of my life that have created the person that you're seeing right now on your video screen, or on your phone or on your Mac or whatever, on your laptop. And the things that have built me are all the things that were the most traumatizing. Yeah. And I'm not upset about any of them. I don't harbor any resentment against anyone for anything. And sometimes as I'm thinking, if someone pops into my head, like for example, years ago, I had a business partnership with someone and it went sideways pretty quickly. Um, through no fault of mine, but it went, and I had to deal with the consequences. And at the time, I was very upset. I harbored a lot of resentment against this person for a long time. And now, when I think back on it, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for all of it. So I'm sharing this because one of the most powerful practices that you can start to implement in your life today, whether you're dealing with a chronic illness or not, is the practice of forgiveness. You have to forgive. And, as the saying goes, the forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. The forgiveness is for you. So you release yourself. Because here's the thing, I think it's a Buddhist saying that says that, anger is like holding on to a hot coal and expecting the other person to get burned. It's the most pointless emotion ever, you know? So when we're harboring resentments, when we're holding on to anger, when we're holding on to judgment, when we're those are like some of the worst things. And here's the thing, it is impacting your body on a cellular level. You are harming yourself. And the best thing that you can do if you want to have some peace and joy and health in your life is to let it all go. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And if you truly bird's eye out and look at it from like the highest perspective possible, all those challenges were put into your life to allow you to become the best version of yourself. And unfortunately, what I see a lot is that most people get stuck in victim consciousness. And it gets encouraged in our culture. We're encouraged to blame the government, blame the boss, blame your partner, blame your parents, blame somebody, right? That doesn't get you anywhere. And in the last couple of years, like especially as I've gone deeper into regenerative health, so the reason this all started was 2 years ago, I was doing a protocol. It was around this time of the year. So in January, I always do a protocol. So I was doing a protocol, and my kidneys weren't filtering, and I was trying to get my kidneys to filter. And I tried everything. My diet was 100%. I was doing all the things. I was using the biohacks. I was doing everything that I needed to be doing to try to get my kidneys to filter. I was castor oil packing like every single night, but nothing was working. The kidneys were not filtering. And then one day I got this download, to start doing daily forgiveness prayers. And I thought, okay, well, why not? And as I was doing the forgiveness prayers, it also dawned on me that as a part of the forgiveness prayers, I also needed to forgive myself, forgive the younger version of myself that didn't have the knowledge, the information, the experience that this current Julie has. And so only made the decisions that she made with the information that she had at the time, and hadn't done this deeper evolution excavation. And so I started practicing forgiveness for myself as well. And I can tell you, it has been phenomenal. Oh, by the way, my kidneys started filtering not too long after that, actually, maybe like the next week or something, they started filtering. And anytime someone comes into my mind that I may have had not the greatest experience with, I just from a energy standpoint, I always send them a prayer that I hope that they're well. And I just put it out into the universe. I'm like, whatever is between us, I forgive it, and I would like it to be energetically cleared. Even if I never speak to this person ever again, I would like this to be okay from an energetic level. And sometimes I'll even go further. I'll say, like, what do I need to do to clear this energetically? So, yeah, especially if you're struggling with health issues, start looking into what do you need to forgive? Who do you need to forgive? Resentments will not get anyone, like, resentments don't get you anywhere. All they do is harm your health and make life unhappy for you. So if you can start to integrate this practice into your daily life, you're going to transform. So I use like different forgiveness prayers, and I'm running a little long on this live. So maybe I'll do the other forgiveness prayer on next week's video. I'll make a note of it. But the simplest, easiest forgiveness prayer is the Hawaiian prayer. And it's just 4 lines. You can put them out, like say them out loud or say them in your mind, in whatever order you would like. And you can say it towards yourself. You can say it visualizing someone. You can hold someone's picture and say it, whatever resonates with you. But it's like for a sentence: I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And I love to do that one by tapping on heart center because I'm a big fan of tapping. So you would simply go, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. You can close your eyes. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. It is not uncommon when you start to do forgiveness work that you're going to have some emotions come up. That's good. That means that your body is being cleared of energy that is not necessary, that is probably holding you back. And that is to your benefit. So I would love to know in the comments if you're going to start doing this practice. I would love to know what kind of results you see with this practice because it is so mind-blowing and so simple to do. And because everything is energy and frequency, when you start to clear the energy within your body, you're going to start to feel that internal shift, and you will start to notice like subtle things in your outer 3D reality changing as well. And they will be changing for the better. So I hope that this video and this practice helps you. Of course, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please drop it below the video. Make sure that you check out my links. There are some great little freebies there as well. If you're interested in checking out the membership, look at the Elevate membership. It is an amazing opportunity to learn about your overall health and well-being, mind, body, and spirit. I use practices like the Hawaiian prayer and lots of other practices as well in the membership. And you get education on all these different tools that you can start to integrate into your day-to-day life to help create the best health possible. So thank you for being a part of my online community. I appreciate you. Please feel free to share this video with anyone that you think it can benefit. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you on next week's live. Bye for now.